Hello, my name is Leighton Suzuki, and today I would like to talk to you about the benefits of nuclear power. Benefits that span from environmental cleanliness to reliability and to cost efficiency. Now, environmental cleanliness is obviously a pretty big deal nowadays, limiting pollution and carbon emissions, stopping climate change, and all that. So, you might not believe this, but nuclear power is actually one of the most clean sources of power out there. It's even cleaner than solar panels. Now, you might think about the big cooling towers that have plumes constantly coming out of them, and you might relate that to smokestacks in a factory. You might be thinking that it's gotta be smoke or some polluting chemicals destroying the air. But in reality, all that is steam, hot water. That's really all it is, just clouds going into the air. And on the terms of waste, now, yes, nuclear power does create nuclear waste, obviously. But this is where that solar panel comparison comes in. Solar panels actually create 300 times more nuclear waste than nuclear power does per unit of energy. So for the same amount of energy that a solar panel create, nuclear power is creating the same amount of energy with 300 times less the amount of nuclear waste. So really, all nuclear power is just really advanced steam power that creates less nuclear waste than solar panels. Now, on to reliability. Reliability is a pretty big deal. With solar panels and wind panels or wind turbines, they're not always creating electricity. For wind turbines, it needs to be windy for them to move. For solar panels, they're only making energy if it's sunny out there. And as we've seen with the recent Texas storms where everything froze over, there was no power going on. That's because all the storms were preventing wind turbines and solar panels from creating electricity. But nuclear power, it's not reliant on the weather, rain or shine, it's creating electricity. All it needs is fuel and water. That's all. And as for cost efficiency, nuclear power is actually one of the most cost efficient forms of power too, maybe even the most. This comes for several reasons, but to start off with is why it might be expensive to begin with, which is the facility. Nuclear power facilities are very large. They're probably the most expensive facilities to create of any power plant, aside from maybe, dams for hydroelectricity. But once those facilities are created, it's actually extremely cost efficient. That's because, like I said, of its reliability, it's creating a lot of power. And it's creating that power nonstop. Nothing's, getting in the way of it. So that means that you're constantly creating electricity, you're constantly selling it, constantly making money. And now on to fuel. You might be thinking that nuclear fuel rods would be pretty expensive, but you'd be wrong on that. Nuclear fuel rods, radioactive material, there's not really a lot of use for it, and it's not super hard to come by either. So you have a source of fuel that is pretty easy to come by, and it's not being used for anything else. That means that you've got basically an unlimited supply of fuel to create more energy with. And to top it all off, I mean, when you look at the military, you've got nuclear powered aircraft carriers and submarines. Like, if nuclear power wasn't a good option, then it wouldn't be used in those. So, hopefully, now you understand the benefits of nuclear power, how it's clean, reliable, and cost efficient.